Welcome to the Lumecon Workmen series. We're going to talk about our brand new LED floodlights and wall packs and several other products that we've had for a little while, but maybe we need to revisit that are all part of our Workmen series. First, we'd like to always reiterate that everything we manufacture is done at our headquarters in Farmington Hills, Michigan. If you look at the yellow star on this, we're located just northwest of downtown Detroit in a suburb called Farmington Hills. And some other of note, if you see where it says Lake Michigan here, that's where Muskegon, Michigan is, and that's where our Detroit series is. The aluminum is poured to create our die-cast housing. And if you look up here where the little cut in the mitten is, you'll see the that is where Charlevoix, Michigan is, and that's where we manufacture our plastic injection molds for lensing and for the decorative globes that we use. And then down back here in the Detroit area is where we actually place LEDs onto the circuit boards themselves and create an LED light engine. And then everything is brought back to here, our Lumecon headquarters. And what we have here is all of our manufacturing and our inventory and our headquarters. So basically all under one roof. So when you're looking to order a product, we do not stock any finished goods. We keep everything in raw format. And then when you order something, it can take as little as 1 day or up to 6 weeks to, depending on schedule and the products and the stuff, we then will assemble it and get it out the door and get it to your job site. So we're very proud that we are actually in our 15th year right now, and it's come a long way. The first year, we actually manufactured a full cutoff wall pack for the United States Armory, or United States Army, for an armory in Virginia. And back then, we were working with 40 lumens per watt, and we were charging $800 a fixture and not making much money on it. So we have come a long way. Also in that, I remember going to Street and Area Lighting Conference in 2006 and meeting with Mark McClear from Cree. He was Cree LED manufacturing. And Mark showed a slide showing that he thought LED lighting products would take off and be very popular sometime in 2035. So needless to say, Mark was way off on that prediction. We've come a long way in a very short period of time. So it's been a fun ride. To reiterate Lumecon's quality, we use only tier 1 componentry when you're manufacturing all of our products. So for example, LEDs, we only use Nichia, Cree, Samsung, and sometimes Lumileds. We stick with the 4 big suppliers. We don't use any knockoffs. And we don't even use the cheap versions that even some of these manufacturers will make. We're staying with their tier 1 product line, and that's for a reason we'll talk about in a second. We use advanced Philips drivers, simple set and programmable, and in some cases, Thomas Research products as well. Even down to using Wago connectors. Now, you might say, who cares about the connectors? Well, we do, because a lot of inexpensive fixtures come with wires that are connected using, say, the speaker wire caps or the orange caps, if you will. And if they're anything like my 1972 Plymouth Barracuda when I was in high school, if you hit a bump all the speaker wire caps would fall off my radio that I installed the day before and roll around in the floorboards of my car. Well, we don't want that to happen. So we know that there's a lot of vibration out there with semi-trucks, with just traffic in general, weather, high winds that can cause vibration on poles and shake loose connections. So we only use the best in a Wago connector so that your wires will stay permanently connected. Photocells, we're using solid state products only so that they can keep up with our warranty. It used to be that the older technology would only last a couple of years. Now they're being rated for 15 and 20 years. We're using intermatic and occupancy sensors. We're using both Legrand watt stoppers and also some microwave sensors that we find work good in smaller units. All of this together allows us to give you a 10-year performance warranty to L70. So that means that in the performance warranty, that if on day one you put up a Wallpack and you measure 10-foot candles underneath it, if you were to go back in 9.5 years and measure anything less than 7-foot candles or anything more than a 30% depreciation, you would fall into warranty. We did our own little test when we moved into our building that we're in currently. We've been about 12 years there. We installed one of our Wallpacks from 12 years ago onto the back of the building. 10.5 years later, after running it 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, for 10.5 years, we had it retested and lost 2.8% light output over that 10.5 year period. So we're very confident in what we do with our thermal management, with our ESD technology, and very confident in giving you a 10-year performance warranty to L70. So when we set out to make the Lumecon Workmen series, we had 4 main targets in mind, 4 goals. Number 1, we wanted to keep it inexpensive. We wanted to make sure that we weren't overcharging and we didn't want to be on the high end. But that doesn't mean that we sacrifice quality, because we're still giving you our 10-year warranty. So you'll find that we did not shortcut anything. We just used smaller packages, and we're calling them kind of titans, right? They're small, but they have a lot of punch. Also, we wanted them to be utilitarian, meaning that they wanted them to look good in an architectural setting, or just very functional in an everyday setting, so that it could swing both ways, and that any person installing it would be proud to have it, whether they pay attention to their lighting or not. And last but not least, contemporary. We wanted to look good, and as you can see, I jumped ahead there, but I'll show you some pictures of it, and you can see that we try to match it up with our Detroit series, giving heavy bone lines and some raised surfaces to give it definitely some girth to it, and give it some texture. So of course, all of this, and it has to also be made in the USA. Every product that Lumecon manufactures is made in the United States. It's made in Farmington Hills, and we want to keep it that way. So we have floods, we have Wallpacks that we want to talk about that are brand new. We're going to revisit our parking lot low bays, and also our high bays that, again, are all American made. And then last but not least, our vapor tights. So first, kicking it off, let's talk about the Lumecon Workmen series small floodlight. It's a very small package, and as Bob Shaw says, it's about the size of a ham sandwich. So it gives you an idea about what size it is, but it comes in a lot of options. So you have a 15-watt version and a 25-watt version, and you have 2700 K Kelvin temperature, 3000 K, 4000 K, and 5000 K. And all are very efficient for their Kelvin temperatures. So basically looking at, say, 4000 K, we're running between 2,000 and 3,000 lumens, those 2 different packages. And all of these Kelvin temperatures are 80 CRI or above. So you're getting a great coloring rendering index as well, even if you go to the warmer colors. That's kind of a misnomer that some people think that when you go to warmer light levels that you're actually sacrificing color rendering, and you're not. It's still very crisp, very clear, works really well with video, and highlights whatever it is that you're trying to illuminate. We also have a larger brother to the same one. There's a Lumecon Workmen series large floodlight. This one now is available in 3 different wattages and 5 different Kelvin temperatures, all the way down to 2200 K. Now I want to talk about 2200 K, 2700 K, and 3000 K real quickly. And that is because they include so much red phosphor in the mix of the product, you're getting a much warmer light, and you're getting a different wavelength coming from the fixture. Now, why that matters? Well, in the yellow wavelength, it's a much longer wavelength, and so it does not scatter as much as the 4000 and 5000 Kelvin temperatures actually are shorter wavelengths, and they have a tendency to scatter when they hit the atmosphere. That's why during the day, those short wavelengths coming from the sun scatter in our atmosphere, and that's why the sky appears to be blue. Well, at night, we can create the same effect, unfortunately, if we're pointing too much 4,000 and 5,000 K into the air, or if we're rebounding it off the cement or whatever else, however. And that creates what's called sky glow, and that ends up diffusing the sky as well because of the scatter of it going up into the air. Now, you can remediate that by using a 2200 or 27 or 3000 K, a warmer white. And by doing that, you actually are creating less sky glow, less rebound, and less diffusion of the sky. So dark skies, International Dark Skies Association and others recommend that you use warmer colors. And like I said, if you're trying to match high pressure sodium, the 2200 K is a nice adjunct to do that. Now with both floodlights, we have a standard is the adjustable knuckle mount. We have a swivel bracket. We have a yoke mount. We have a ground stake, which goes with the adjustable knuckle, and a post top fitter, which also goes with the adjustable knuckle. All of these products are, for the most part, DLC. You'll have to check each individual one. Some of the warmer colors did not meet the minimum lumen output to make DLC. So if your project requires DLC, make sure you pick the right Kelvin temp as well. At this point in time, photometrics, I'm going to turn it over to Michael Wasnicki. Michael, go ahead.
Thanks, Bob. I want to take a moment here to stack up our comparison against some leading manufacturers and take a look at what we're actually doing with our distribution of light. You see on the two examples on the left, we've got a circular type of distribution known as a type 5 or a standard distribution. And essentially what's happening here is that we've got a flat LED board that is projecting all the light forward in a concentric pattern. And all the way over to the right is our Workman series. And with that flood, you can see that it's pushing the light much more into the corners and not strictly on a focal spot. And this is particularly advantageous when we're looking to light up signage, whether it's on the side of a building or, for example, a vertical sign that's on the front lawn of a facility in a complex. Rather than having just a tight focal spot that's going to hit only a portion of that sign, we want to get the light distributed for smooth uniformity all the way across. And this is only in the 15 watt that we're looking at the comparison. And those advantages become even more pronounced as we get into higher wattages. And so this is something where we really have a strong advantage where we're looking for the illumination across signage, which is very common for floodlights. Thanks, Bob.
Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it. So as you can see, it's a small package, and it packs a powerful punch and gives you great uniformity. Again, along with the rest of the Detroit series and other Lumecon products, you're seeing that we really strive for uniformity as our #1 goal. It's never about how much lumens can we punch out of this fixture, because as we all know, uniformity trumps the total lumen output, and that's what we strive for. So we want to give you more with less. We're going to move on to the Wallpacks. The DLC on this is imminent. It's all been submitted for both the small full cutoff Wallpack and the large full cutoff Wallpack, or medium full cutoff Wallpack, sorry. With this, you'll see that it's got heavy bone lines to help match up to the Detroit series. So that gives you an interesting look. Different than a vanilla, just straight tripod look. And so again, some architectural flair, even though some people might not even notice it because they're small and right by the door, or the MFC that might be out, onto the sides of the actual building. So taking a look at what's available in small full cutoff. So you're looking at, again, 2200 K all the way to 5000 K. We have a 10 watt, 20 watt, and 30 watt. And to Manny's comment earlier, I just wanted to note, these are programmable drivers. So for example, if, you want a 25 watt, we could take the 30 watt and we could dial it down to 25 watts, or the 20 down to 15, or the 10 down to 5, or anywhere in between. Usually the wattage here is the highest we'll go in that model, and then we could always go down from there. So we're flexible. Again, we don't have these in stock as completely assembled fixtures. We have them all in parts and pieces, and we put them together when we get your order. Again, that can take from 1 day, to 6 weeks, depending on what, the availability of parts and also the availability of production time. But if you got a hot order and you need it fast, then you just need to let us know. Again, looking at the efficacy, again, you can see how the warmer colors, kind of retard the lumen efficacy. But for the most part, we do pretty well at 10 watts, even at 2200 K. Normally, these are in the 50s. And you can see that technology's come a long way, and also the way Don Lincoln and the team back in R&D puts things together. They do a good job of heat shed. So you can see that they're doing pretty well with a 2200 K. Then the 2700 K is well into the DLC range, all the way up to almost 150 lumens per watt. You also see here the medium full cutoff, which is a much larger unit. So in this, we're getting a 25, 40, and 60 watt, again, programmable. Very efficient. So if you look over here, say at 4000 K, you can see we have 3000, 6000, and almost 8000 lumen packages, all in the 130-ish lumen efficacy range. So it's, again, packs a powerful punch. Now, both fixtures, the small and the medium full cutoff, this just says medium, but it is a small too, is field adjustable. So if you get out there and you needed more light, say on the, the first row of the parking lot, and you're not quite reaching it, you can actually tilt the fixture 10 degrees, 20 degrees, 30 degrees, anywhere in between, all the way up to 90 degrees. And, to give yourself the uniformity and the range that you're looking for. So it's a very flexible unit. At this time, Michael, why don't you jump back in? We did a comparison of our old full cutoff versus our new.
That's right, Bob. Lumecon had the workhorse of the LWP-FC for several years. And throughout that process of developing the Workman series, we made it a point to increase in multiple directions. Not only have we got an increased efficacy, but also a better distribution pattern as far as keeping it away from the wall and more towards the area that we're trying to illuminate. And as Bob mentioned earlier, it's also able to do more using less and having a higher efficacy. Another point with these isoluminance patterns is that at Lumecon, we can do a custom layout for any type of project you're looking at. And that's, of course, with all of the Workman series or the rest of our luminaires that we manufacture. You can just send a request over to sales@lumecon.com, and we can custom design a photometric study for your project with no cost or commitment to that. Thanks, Bob.
Thank you, Michael. Just one other note, too, and that is that, the objective here was to give a better looking fixture with the same warranty, with better efficacy, and also much less expensive. And we think we accomplished everything with the MFC and the SFC. The next product we want to talk about, we've had it for a while now, is the Lumecon Workmen Series Parking Garage Light, Lowbay. It is low profile and designed to meet DLC parking garage lumen, not only lumen output, but the angle of the lumen output as well. So taking a look, we got 3 models, a 30, a 45, and a 60. And here it says here, equivalent to 175 watt. And that's true, and really even up to a 250 watt. And Michael's going to talk about RP8 and, just regular RP8 and high retail RP8 as well. So, but taking a look, it's all 120 lumens per watt, very efficient, very economical. And some of the features and benefits is low profile, and that facilitates easy clearance. So anything that's already currently installed, we're finding that we're actually replacing quite a bit of early adopted LED. So not just replacing HID anymore, now we're replacing LED too. That was maybe some of the first stuff that came out. That was maybe 40 to 60 lumens per watt, and now we're at 120 and higher. And so there's another reason, another return on investment story to be told, even replacing current LEDs, that have been out there for a while. The effective lumen distribution obviously creates a one-for-one replacement, which Michael will talk about a little bit more, and also meets DLC. And then there's sensor availability. So if you were looking to do light harvesting, dim high occupancy sensing, of course, a photocell, you can extend the energy savings that you're already giving them by reducing the wattage output, but let's even give them more energy savings by dimming them down or turning them off when they're not occupied or if there's enough sunlight. Michael, turn this back over to you to talk about photometry.
Thanks. So as Bob mentioned, on a one-for-one replacement, we were looking for the most difficult scenario that we would have as far as our output and the lowest wattage, the lowest lumen output, to see if that would match up. And we've taken the most standard of parking space arrangements inside of a parking garage. And that's where the vast majority of parking garages will put the luminaires at the end of the parking stalls, the lanes, and then they put them every 2.5 spaces. And you'll see that every space that they come across there, that's the most common application for spacing. And we went with the lowest wattage that we have, the 30 watts. And it still very easily and effectively replaces a 175 watt HID parking garage luminaire. For the recommended practices put out by IES and RP8, they are looking to have a minimum of 1 foot candle average across the floor. And when you get into the ramp areas, they require 2 foot candles average. They want to have a tight uniformity in there of 10:1, which is twice as stringent as what they have for outdoor parking lots of a 20:1 uniformity. And you can see in this example that we've done a photometric study in the one-for-one replacements. Not only are we at 5 foot candles average across the entirety of the floor, but the uniformity is below 10:1. And so not only can we do this for any parking garage, but this actually at 5 foot candles easily fits into a retail environment as well, where they want to have much more brightness and intensity of the luminance. But at the same point, we're avoiding glare issues, not only with the lensing that we have, but in particular staying within the uniformity ratio and not having hot spots. So at the entry level of 30 watts, we're doing a fantastic job. This thing's a champ, and also we have higher wattages depending on what the requirements may be for a parking garage. Thanks, Bob.
All right, I'm back in action. Sorry about that. The Lumecon Workmen Series Linear High Bay 2. The Linear High Bay is made in the USA. We bend the metal in Detroit and or in Ohio, and we ship it in. And the LED boards are manufactured in the Detroit metropolitan area with the LED boards. And we bring everything together at Lumecon for final assembly. So for all your USA made and other jobs, look to the Lumecon Workmen Series Linear High Bay. You can see the efficacy. If you look at the cut sheets and everything else, is off the chart. It's a great product, and it comes with lensing or no lensing. And we have photometrics for both. And again, if you need a layout done, Michael is available to do that. For your more rough environments, for example, especially for food environments, this is food rated. It is wet rated. You can wash it down. It is a Lumecon Workman Series Vapor Tight Wide 4. It is a fiberglass housing. You can get either acrylic or you can get polycarbonate lensing. You can get plastic clips. You can get stainless steel clips, depending on, again, how rugged of an environment. Is it corrosive? What do you need? And this is going to be a great fixture for something like that, especially in a corrosive environment too, because there's nothing about it that will corrode. So anyways, give it a look if you haven't looked at it in a while. And again, if need be, we can do a layout for you. I want to wrap up by just saying the Lumecon support system is always available to you. If you need a webinar done, one-on-one with your customer, we can do that. We are going to be ramping up educational seminars pretty soon. That means live and in person back in Farmington Hills. We just need to get through, the spike that we're in right now, and then we can start bringing people in. We'd love to see you. We also have a dedicated central nervous system. All the people up front and inside sales, including myself and Don Lincoln and Michael Woznicki and Sharon Shaw. We're here to support you if for some reason you've got a question, concern, technical question, or need a quote. You don't get assigned one person. We all chip in and help. along with the regional sales managers. Speaking of the regional sales managers, if you need on-site assistance, our national sales manager, Mike Verliger, or our business development manager, Bob Shaw, is always available to help on-site. And then we also, of course, repeating what Michael said, offering the photometric layouts to make sure that your project is going to meet the toughest of requirements, and that we can help you prove to your end user what they're getting. So having said that, we appreciate your time today.